ODBEST Global. Business, engineering, strategy, technology. www.olandeems.com.
Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling literally one of the most massive financial decisions you can ever make, funding a construction project. Whether you're dreaming of a residential home, a bustling commercial space, or a complex mixed-use property, the sheer scale of the investment can honestly be a little overwhelming. But what if you could peer into the financial future of your build before you even break ground? Well, today we are exploring a really powerful methodology that lets you do exactly that.
Here is our roadmap for today. First up, the cost of poor planning. Then, we'll meet the ODBEST Estimator. Look at how to access the tool and customize your project specs. After that, we'll compare some budgets and breakdowns and wrap it all up with precision in strategy.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the cost of poor planning, or the extremely high stakes of building blind. I really want you to stop and ask yourself this. Are you truly ready to fund your next major construction project? Because the financial stakes here are absolutely massive. You know, you could have the most beautiful architectural design in the world, but if your numbers are off, that gorgeous design is just going to stay on paper forever. And this gets right to the root of the problem. A lot of projects don't stall out because of bad blueprints. No, they stall because of these exact pitfalls: inaccurate budgeting, totally unrealistic expectations, and just a complete lack of proper cost visibility. These are the silent project killers, and they're exactly what lead to terrifying cost overruns and, well, half-finished buildings. Moving right along to Section 2. Meet the ODBEST Estimator. Smarter budgeting begins here. Now this is where things get super interesting. Enter the digital solution to all this uncertainty, the ODBEST Construction Cost Estimator. Now this isn't just your standard run-of-the-mill calculator. It's a completely free, highly practical, smart tool developed by Engineer Olan Deems. He specifically designed it to replace dangerous assumptions with structured, reliable insights. It generates these indicative construction budgets based on the actual, real-world variables that impact your bottom line. It's basically empowering everyone, from a first-time homeowner to a seasoned investor, to estimate costs so much faster and way more intelligently.
Which brings us to Section 3, accessing the tool and finding the platform.
Getting your hands on this is incredibly simple. It literally takes just 3 quick steps to completely transform your planning process. You just open up your browser, navigate to the Smart Tools preview section, and launch the estimator. It's really that easy. Just a quick Google search for Olan Deems brings you directly to his official digital ecosystem. It usually pops up as the very first result, taking you straight to the consultancy and technology platform. And once you're on the Olan Deems site, you just scroll down a bit until you spot the ODBEST Smart Tools preview section. You'll see the construction cost estimator right there. Just hit Open Calculator and boom, you are immediately ready to start inputting your data. There are no clunky software downloads or any weird installations required. Okay, Section 4, customizing your project specifications. Let's talk about inputting those real-world variables. Let's do a quick walkthrough and see the engine under the hood, shall we? You start by laying the foundation with some basic data. You can set your total floor area, say 180 square meters, and then punch in the number of floors. You can even toggle the exchange rate. It seamlessly flips between local currency and US dollars, which gives you incredible financial clarity depending on where your funding is actually coming from.
But this is where the tool is an absolute game changer. You aren't just typing in a raw square footage number, you're selecting real-world variables. Are you building a residential or a mixed-use space? Going for basic, standard, or full-on luxury finishes? Is the structure going to be wood, reinforced concrete, or steel? And crucially, are you building out in the province or right in a premium urban center? Because every single one of those choices directly dictates the logistics, the material costs, and the labor complexity of your specific build.
Let's jump to Section 5, comparing budgets and breakdowns. This is all about the power of comparative cost visibility. So let's see how this actually builds out your financial strategy. The whole point here is seeing how the data changes dynamically based on different scenarios. Let's run a quick comparison to really highlight the power of this tool. We are going to contrast a tight 80 square meter, 3-story mixed-use building in premium Metro Manila against a nice, spacious 180 square meter, 2-story residential home out in a standard provincial area. The tool lets you evaluate these trade-offs instantly. Okay, so for that complex, premium urban build in Manila, Using reinforced concrete, semi-finished interiors, and a heavy concrete roof deck, your indicative cost skyrockets to nearly 53,000 pesos per square meter. That pushes the mid-estimate for that relatively tight urban space to over 4.2 million pesos. But contrast that with our provincial build scenario. Out there, you have fewer logistical headaches, standard metal roofing, and simpler basic finishes. And because of that, the cost drops dramatically to under 24,000 pesos per square meter. That means you could build a much larger 180 square meter home for a mid-estimate of about 2.38 million pesos. Seeing these numbers side by side like this, it fundamentally changes how you approach your investment capacity. And it gets better, because the tool doesn't just hand you a massive lump sum and say, good luck. It gives you a granular indicative cost breakdown. It slices your budget up into categories: structural and civil works, like your concrete and metal; architectural finishes, like paint and tiles; MEPF, which, by the way, stands for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire systems; and finally, a contingency bucket for permits and those unexpected overheads. You get to see exactly where every single dollar is going.
Ultimately, you're provided with a low, mid, and high budget range. And honestly, this is absolutely crucial. It builds in a safety factor, giving you a realistic spectrum rather than just one terrifying, rigid number. It completely eliminates that blind uncertainty and sets you up perfectly for your feasibility studies and those really important discussions with your contractors.
And finally, Section 6, Precision in Strategy, Empowering Your Next Decision. Let's bring all of this together. Why does this level of digital planning matter so much for your very next project? Well, the fundamental takeaway from this entire explainer is this: smarter budgeting begins with better visibility. You have got to secure structured, data-driven financial visibility before you spend your first dollar. Just crossing your fingers and relying on assumptions, that's a relic of the past. Today, making informed decisions is what gives you a massive competitive advantage. I want to leave you with this really authoritative thought straight from the ODBEST platform: precision in strategy, power in decision. Knowing your numbers gives you the power to negotiate, the power to pivot when you need to, and ultimately the power to build with total confidence. So my question to you is, how are you going to use this visibility to take command of your next big construction investment? Go check out the free tool, run your numbers, and take control.
ODBEST Global Management Consultancy. Precision in strategy, power in decisions. See you in the next insight.